As the Gambia depends highly on agriculture, climate change continues to obstruct this sector. Gambia experienced longest internet outage in months. And former NIA Director of External Security testifies as adversely mentioned perpetrator. These and more coming on Gambia24. Stay tuned. Good evening, you're watching Gambia24 News with me, Mariama Cham. Thanks for joining us, and now the news in detail. Climate change continues to affect agricultural growth in the Gambia, and President Barrow reassures his government's commitment in combating challenges affecting the sector. The Minister of Agriculture on Tuesday launched a project on resilience of organizations for transformative smallholder agricultural project routes, which is geared towards increasing agricultural productivity and access to markets for food security. More of that in this report.
Agriculture is said to be the backbone of a nation's growth, and the Gambia is not an exception. Despite the many challenges the Gambia's agricultural sector is slammed with, the West African nation's gross domestic product is significantly steered by the industry. Recently, the country has been hit by the impact of climate change, dilapidating the sector's performance. However, President Barrow assures his government's commitment in boosting this sector.
The Gambia is among the countries that are most vulnerable to the effects of climate change. In recognition of this, the government is fully committed to supporting and promoting initiatives for climate change adaptation and resilience. Furthermore, we appreciate the importance and potential of sustainable agricultural value chain development in fostering growth within the agriculture sector.
Not only climate change is a major challenge in the agricultural sector, but also poor infrastructure, soil fertility depletion, declining agricultural commodity prices, soaring prices of production inputs, and low private investment. President Barrow assures that all these challenges will be tackled as aligned in the National Development Plan.
We will continue to prioritize and invest in agricultural land and infrastructure development, agricultural machinery, post-harvest and processing equipment, storage facilities, and related value addition and market access initiative across the country. This is highly relevant to our development strategy as contained in the National Development Plan 2018-2021.
In 2019, the share of agriculture in the Gambia's gross domestic product was 16.79%. This shows how the Gambia's economy thrives on agriculture, which has key implications for poverty reduction and food security. Agricultural production in the Gambia is largely dependent on rain-fed subsistence farming, which is inhibited by numerous climate factors including rainfall variability, increased temperatures, and sea level rise. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
Well, that was President Barrow assuring his government's commitment in combating factors affecting agriculture. Now, the Gambia on Tuesday hit with another internet blackout for more than 10 hours in the entire country, disrupting almost all sectors of business. In the space of 5 weeks, the Gambia has been slammed by 4 internet outages, ranging from 4 hours to over 10 hours. Fatmata Kasim reports.
Internet usage has grown exponentially in the Gambia, and over the years, smartphone usage has significantly increased and the demand for mobile data has spread in parts of the country. Most internet users access the internet through their phones, but this year seems to start rather unusually rough for many due to the frequent blackout. Ibrahim Sanyang, a cyber cafe operator at Gamtel, said the internet blackout disrupted his business.
Of course, our business normally, where the customers that are here, but unfortunately they are not able to have internet access due to the internet problem we have. But still, people are working on internet. People are working on the problem people are facing right now. They are on it. Well, because I can see today that Gambians, most of their business occurred in internet site.
With so many businesses growing on a daily basis, the availability of a stable internet is of great concern to many. During the period of the blackout, effective communication was brought to a halt, hence cutting the Gambia from the rest of the world. In our roundabout in the Serekunda, we met a businessman, Ibrahim Gassama, who said the lack of internet made him feel useless throughout the day.
Bring someone for Hani saying,
we are just sitting, chatting, and doing nothing else. If this continues like this, it's going to make life difficult, not only for us, but also the general public. Because the world cannot go without internet. The body responsible for these internet system issues should look into these matters, because Gambia has the most expensive and poorest internet connection in the sub-region.
Modu Drame, a cosmetic seller at the Serekunda market, also shared his experience for losing internet for longest time. He said a country like the Gambia should not be experiencing such internet problems.
The internet blackout has affected all of us because we all use the internet. If the internet doesn't work, nothing will work, because we the vendors, sometimes we have products that we want to show to our customers, so we will have to snap it and send it to customers. You cannot also receive money in the banks if there is no network. A country like the Gambia, it's an error to have an internet blackout for 10 hours. That's not even safe.
The Gambia generates its internet from the Africa Coast to Europe Cable ACE, an optical fiber submarine cable system serving 24 countries on the west coast of Africa and Europe, managed by a consortium of 19 members. For iAfrica TV, I am Fatmata Kasim.
The country has experienced long hours of internet blackout on Tuesday, disrupting several day-to-day activities. Now, moving on from that, the recent Corruption Performance Index report reveals that Gambia has dropped from 96 in 2019 to 102 corrupt nations out of 180 countries in 2021, which has triggered a different opinion among Gambians. Mar Nyang, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, a civil society organization, told iAfrica TV that fighting corruption in the Gambia needs collaborative efforts from all sectors. Binta Jallo reports.
Despite the former Justice Minister Abubakar Tambedu presenting the anti-corruption bill to the National Assembly for consideration in December 2019, the bill has since been stuck at the Parliament despite several calls for it to be considered and approved by the lawmakers. Mar Nyang, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, says the recent CPI's report indicates that more needs to be done to combat corruption in the Gambia. He observed that the authority needs to take a leading role in the fight against corruption in the West African nation.
My reaction is corruption is now becoming more diversified than it has ever been before. We were doing well, pretty well, somewhere in 2017 to 2018 compared to our previous performance during Jammeh's era. But as time goes on, we have seen the fight against corruption fading away, and the increase of corruption, being realized in every part of the system. When I'm talking about the system, actually referring to the machinery that's supposed to run this country, and that machine is, if I can use this word to describe it, I mean, the lubricant that's supposed to make the machine to work efficiently is not there. And as a result of that, the government's effort towards, curbing corruption has not been felt by the citizens and by the international organizations. And then also, most importantly, the facts that are there for the government to prove to us that they are fighting corruption are nowhere to be seen.
Nyang also lamented on the public sector's bad performance in curbing corruption at public workplaces.
We have a very bad public sector. and our public service is rotting because of corruption. It doesn't really mean the financial aspect of corruption. It also has to do with the grand corruption or systematic corruption that is actually being felt in the public sector. And as a result, we've seen complaints from all and sundry, those in this country, especially in our areas of health and education. Look at what COVID-19 has cost this country and the weaknesses that COVID-19 has exposed in our health sector, in our economy. We've seen $1.6 billion that has been expended on COVID-19, but yet still the government cannot tell us exactly where those money has been spent. All they do is to give us a total amount that have been expended, but only for government local funds. They are not telling you how all other funds, like the grants that they have received and the loans that they have received, how they've been using that money to fund COVID-19 activities.
Gambia Participates is a youth-led civil society organization that focuses on enhancing transparency and accountability in the public sector. The organization also takes a leading role in combating corruption in the Gambia by leveraging modern digital tools and other methods to track the expenditure of the government and to engage people. Reporting for iAfrica TV, Binta Jallo.
That was Marnyang of Gambia Participates, who says in order to eradicate corruption in the country, collective efforts should be put in place. We will now go with a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Stay with us.
The pride we take in our brand, the work we put into constantly change the landscape and elevate real estate in the Gambia, it's compared to none. From inception, our goal was to add value to the beautiful Gambian landscape. That's why we are proud innovators of community estates. Kololi Sands is an exceptional piece of work, tailored for ultimate convenience and luxury, to bring you an element of finesse that is rare but unique in its own. This is also our pride and joy, and we welcome you to the exquisite beauty right here in Kololi and right here on the waterfront. Kololi Sands, feel the ocean breeze at your doorstep.
Welcome back, and now straight to the matters of the Truth Commission. Witnesses are still appearing before the Commission to testify on matters related to tortures by the defunct National Intelligence Agency under former President Jammeh. A former Director of External Security at the NIA, Baba Saho, on Wednesday testified as an adverse mention for the arrest and unlawful detention of PPP demonstrators in 1995. Let's take a listen in this report by Ndai.
According to witnesses who testified before the Third Commission, forced confessions and illegal detentions at the NIA were widespread, and most of the victims were political detainees. Baba Saho, NIA former Director of External Security, has been adversely mentioned for arrest and unlawful detention of PPP demonstrators in 1995, and also for participating in torture in Balokante, Bunjadabo, and Ibrahima Jaite. The witness denied these allegations of taking part in the arrest of PPP demonstrators.
1995.
1995 sangokono.
Well, somebody who knew what was going on, unlike you who did not know what was going on, that person testified. And they explained that when the information was received, the NIA established two teams. An arresting team, which went to the ground and arrested those who were part of this demonstration. Did that happen?
That's that person's opinion. He's aware, so I'm not.
Been in the institution for about 10 years, the witness told the Commission the mode of operations of different sections at the NIA.
The functions of the individual units Kisikisir bundala do kol momenti is to make follow-ups kabula kolu noma that aren't too clear. Many alonko iman senea bake. And the Director General will instruct us, go into this, go into that. But what suti ba Director General kana yamaro dintella albula nyin noma alinyin don noma sata aliketeng.
And as a former number 3
ko inana kita nu nyaton ka sabanyanguti
in the investigations department
bundala menga kisikisiroke
and a former director of external security
andu inana kita nyaton ko me alon ko wolde marata tanko ni into topotol nyala bantala.
This is your answer about the responsibilities of the investigations department?
Mwila jabiro di do ko la me alon ko bunda menga kisikisiroke la do ko mendi.
Yes.
Born on 4th of April 1961, Baba Saho is a native of Fonyi Bondali. He joined the National Intelligence Agency in 1995, where he served as the Director General of External Security at the institution. Mr. Saho is said to be among the most aggressive NIA agents during former President Yahya Jammeh's regime. He is alleged to have arrested dozens of opposition militants during his services at the feared National Intelligence Agency, now known as the State Intelligence Services, SIS. For iAfrica News, I am Daisy.
That was Baba Saho, an adverse mentioned alleged torturer, testifies earlier today before the Truth Commission. Now to some sport news. The Confederation of African Football (CAF) has disqualified Gambia from the ongoing WAFU Under-17 Championship in Senegal. The suspension came after some players in the Gambian team failed to pass the magnetic resonance imaging testing conducted by CAF's medical personnel ahead of the championship. More details of that in this report.
The Gambia Football Federation says it will appeal against the CAF's decision of disqualifying the Baby Scorpions from the ongoing WAFU Under-17 Championship in Senegal. The Confederation of African Football, in a statement through the WAFU Executive Director, says the Gambia's Under-17 team has been disqualified from the championship because some of the players failed the MRI test. However, the GFF officials stated that all the players taking part in the competition passed the MRI test, which was conducted by CAF medical personnel ahead of the competitions in Senegal. In a social media post, the GFF says the letter sent to them from CAF did not specifically mention the number of players found wanting and their names. The Federation has since filed for an appeal against the CAF's decision, and the public will be duly informed of the outcome, the statement added. The Gambia Under-17 defeated Mauritania 2-0 after losing 4-2 to host Senegal in their match of the competition. The Continental Football CAF body had banned the Gambia before for filing over 8 players in junior competitions. Reporting for iAfrica News, I am Mariama Cham.
The Gambia's Baby Scorpions has been disqualified from the WAFU Championship for cheating. Now that's all we have for you in today's edition of Gambia24. Thanks for watching and do have a good night.
Star GSM felay promotion bana fina molye minul be mararing tanko bundala Gambia banko kanjang